Hey, welcome to your Capricorn horoscopes for the week of December 3rd through the 9th as we move into the shadow period of the final Mercury retrograde of the year on Wednesday, 7 days before the actual retrograde commences next Wednesday on the 13th. And it, of course, will be a Capricorn retrograde again because we haven't had enough Capricorn retrogrades. It's true. But this one's a little bit different. Instead of being full on in earth signs like it has been for the last 2 years now, the retrograde begins in Capricorn and ends in Sagittarius, kicking off 2024 as being a major, mostly, oh my goodness, mostly fire sign Mercury retrogrades and not so much earth. It does present its own problems, but I like that we're moving away from the problems it has been causing in terms of how the earth signs work, especially Capricorn. You guys are organized. You get your noses to the grind. You guys are working. You guys are doing everything that you possibly can to make improvements and to make things better. And having Mercury retrograde constantly in Capricorn just sort of feels like we're never moving forward in some way, shape, or form. Even those of us that aren't earth signs are feeling the effects of it. The whole world is feeling the effects of it. Think about it. So that is something that is unfortunately coming up. We also Pluto moves into a T square with Jupiter and Venus, which is amplified by the moon right at the end of the week. So Pluto has really been not necessarily lining up in challenges for a long time. Actually, any kind of planet interaction has been pretty good. Now we're starting to move into, or I should say, the planets are moving around into a space to where there become challenges there. Venus's challenge in terms of Pluto being square with Venus, we're going to be seeing that for a couple of weeks. But Pluto's square with Jupiter is different. That's something that's actually going to be going on here for a while, to be honest with you, because Jupiter and Pluto don't move very quickly. And Jupiter is still retrograde. So we're also dealing with that as well. That retrograde should be ending here in the next month or so, but the square is going to continue until Jupiter moves out of that proximity there with Pluto. Pluto has been 28 degrees Capricorn for like weeks and weeks and weeks now. I'm still not even seeing a 29 degrees. That's how long it takes for Pluto to do anything. Chances are by the time he goes retrograde again, we might actually get into Aquarius, but then it's going to turn around and come right back again because this is the nature of Pluto's movement. It's so far away. It takes such a long time to move around the zodiac here. So, couple of things about this. Pluto's focus is on your support system. Jupiter, being retrograde, is focused on the past, while Venus and the moon, of course, at the very end of the week are focused on finances. Now, there's a couple of things I think that really come into play with this. First of all, in terms of financial planning and finding the support that you need in order to well, first of all, Capricorns, you guys know not to rely on anybody. I mean, come on, I don't think I've ever met a Capricorn that did rely on other people to get their stuff done. They did it all on their own. I have a Capricorn grandmother. She took care of all of us. Okay. She probably would not have been able to financially do that these days, as she did in the 80s and even the 90s, so to speak. But it was basically her income that took care of everybody. And it's not to say that she was making a ton of money either. She just did it because that's what needed to be done. And that's how Capricorns roll, right? When you're relying on other people, no Capricorn likes to rely on other people because people always let you down. So I feel like the issue here is not so much that you can't get your finances organized, but that you are maybe have put yourself in a position to believe somebody when they said, I'm going to help you with this. And it turns out that they didn't. Now, of course, if this is an old situation, because this is what Jupiter is pointing towards, then it's almost like the universe saying, I don't know why you even bothered, because you knew exactly how this was going to turn out. But at the same time, we do have to give people the benefit of the doubt. So this isn't to say that this one person is going to completely destroy you financially. I feel like this is more to do with the fact that rather than deal with this problem head on yourself, you're allowing somebody else to come in and quote unquote help you, and they're not doing that. And so the best thing for you is to fall back on your original plan of, I'm taking care of this my way, because it'll run a little bit smoother that way. We also have Mercury in Capricorn as well. Obviously, Mercury's going retrograde next week, so Mercury is already in Capricorn. And Mercury's focus is very much on career this week. And Mercury is telling a completely different story here. Mercury is in a grand sextile with Venus as well as the moon and Saturn. Now, Saturn is in a very interesting place, focusing all that responsibility on our past, on our inner trauma, on all of those things that people have done to us that become excuses and reasons why we can't move forward, or those feelings start to make our decisions. And you know better than anybody else that any kind of decision about money and work should not be an emotional decision, right? So we are basically looking at where we've been, taking responsibility for that, and basically making the choices that are the best choices for us to make in terms of our finances. And that includes career choices in many ways. Mercury is also in a grand sextile with Jupiter and Saturn as well. So we have this huge challenge with Jupiter and with Venus. And yet Mercury comes in and says, but they don't have to be challenges if you don't want them to. And that's really the Capricorn way, right? Is, are you going to look at this as a challenge, or are you going to look at this as an opportunity? And that's really what these two planets are saying here this week. Look at it as an opportunity or look at it as a challenge. Obviously, when you look at it as a challenge, you don't put as much energy and focus into it as you would an opportunity. An opportunity is exciting. An opportunity is all about growth. You definitely put a lot more energy in there than in that direction than you do if you're focused on it being a great big giant challenge. So yeah, there's a challenge, but there's an awful lot there to help you overcome that challenge, or even turn it from a challenge into an opportunity, which is a lot easier to deal with. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation to my coffee link, which is in the description. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support that you guys have given me. It means everything to me. It really does. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys continue to have a productive week, because you're not going to have anything other than a productive week, right? It's always got to be productive. You guys continue to have a productive week, but not just productive. I mean, really kill it. Just really do it, because I know you can. And I will see you guys next week. You guys make it a great one.